Hi, I'm Mrs. Fox, and I'm going to be leading the Biology A level being offered by Wootton Park Sixth Form. So I'm going to go through some of the key criteria that you might be interested in if you're looking at biology for an A level. First off, I'm going to discuss biology as a subject generally, then going to go into more detail in terms of what the A level curriculum offers. Going to look at entry requirements for our course, outline the examinations that you'll be required to sit within biology, and finally discuss why you should study biology A level at Wootton Park Sixth Form. So just a little bit about biology to start off. So biology is the study of all life. So it allows you to make connections and associations between all living organisms around you. It's a massively diverse subject, as you can imagine, and it intertwines all of our lives from the food we eat, the air we breathe, to the environment that surrounds us. So by studying biology, you're understanding how we and all other living organisms can survive. So by continually developing our understanding of biological processes, we can develop new technologies to improve the quality of life for our species. This ranges from projects such as growing proteins in the lab in a view to replace animal protein sources and take the pressure off farming, and also reduce the impact on farming on the climate change. There's also projects such as developing vaccines for these diseases such as COVID-19. These are just a few of the applications of biology. Biology also includes protecting the environment around us and tackling the major climate change crisis that we're undergoing at the moment. It's a massively important issue that we need to overcome as a species in order to safeguard our planet for future generations. So as you can see, biology is massively diverse, and this is very useful for you as a student because it leads to a huge diversity of career types as well. So in terms of the biology A level, it's a 2-year course and it'll all be examined at the end of the second year. So in the lower sixth, in year 12, you'll study the following. So you'll study biological molecules, so looking at how all the carbon-based compounds make up all of living things in terms of cell structures and so forth. Then we're going to go into a bit more detail about cells as well, looking at differences between cells in terms of the types of cells, and also looking at the differences between cells and how that provides evidence for evolution. And then we're going to also look at how organisms exchange substances with their environment. So looking at both the exchange of substances between the internal and external environments within organisms. And finally, we're going to look at genetic information, variation, and the relationships between organisms, looking at variation in terms of individual characteristics within a species and the variation of cell types within an organism as well. In your second year, in the upper sixth, you'll be studying the following. So we're going to look at energy transfer in and between organisms. That is going to look in more depth in terms of the process of photosynthesis and respiration, which you have already covered at GCSE. So we're going to look in it in much more detail than you do originally on GCSE. Then we're going to look at organisms and how they respond to changes in their internal and external environments, building on the homeostasis topic and the nervous system. Then we're going to look at genetics, populations, evolution, and ecosystems. Now, the theory of evolution underpins modern biology, essentially. So we're going to look in a lot more detail in terms of that theory. Again, it's a topic that you will have covered at GCSE, so we're building upon that prior knowledge. And then finally, we're going to look at the control of gene expression. So we're going to look at how genes are able to regulate transcription, translation, and how the organism is able to carry coded genetic information and how they only translate part of that information to develop characteristics. So during both of those years, as well as in covering all of that core content, you're going to be including practicals where possible. So we were going to include as many practicals as we can. Same as with GCSE, we really do think that practical work is at the heart of biology as a topic. And there's 12 practicals in total that the learners must complete during the 2 years. But we will undergo additional practicals where possible as well. Wherever a practical is going to support the learning of learners, we will use that as well. In terms of the core practicals that are going to be examined at the end of the 2 years, they include practicals such as microscope practicals to see cell division or dissections of animals and plant systems, and then also investigating animal behaviour, among others. As well as doing a number of practicals throughout the 2 years, You're also going to have the opportunity to improve your independent thinking and problem solving skills by looking at a lot of application of knowledge style scenarios. This will be really useful when being transferred to university or a career scenario. You're also going to be able to extend your application of scientific methods and practices, looking at experimental design and evaluating methods. And finally, you're going to be studying and using a wide range of experimental and practical instruments throughout your practicals. In terms of resourcing during the 2-year course, we're going to issue and use AQA A-Level Biology Caboodle books for both Year 1 and 2. We're also going to support you with CGP A-Level Biology Complete Revision and Practice books, which will help you when you're leading up towards exams. There's also a copy of the specification that can be found on the AQA website if you search for that as well. There's a copy link here as well. In terms of what we're looking for in terms of candidates for this course, the entry requirements are that you need to get at least a grade 7 in GCSE Trilogy Science. That includes a grade 7 in the biology component as well. Or if you're doing separate sciences, a grade 7 in GCSE Separate Science Biology. As well as that, we require a grade 6 or above in maths. Now, this isn't a name for us to be exclusive, but in our experience, you need to have these grades in order to cope with the demands of the course and to be able to enjoy yourself as well while you're completing it. In terms of what type of learner biology would suit, so suit a hardworking and inquisitive learner, somebody who's really interested in science. You need to be independent and motivated. There will be an element of independent study within the biology A-level course as well. In terms of courses that biology goes well with, it's a really good match with the other sciences, so chemistry and physics, as well as maths, further maths and engineering. At the end of the 2 years, you will have 3 examinations in biology. So the 3 papers are divided up. Roughly a third of your grade is for each paper, although it's not exactly a third, as you'll see. So the first 2 papers are both worth 35%. They're both 2 hours and they're both worth 91 marks. Paper 1 covers your content from the first year and paper 2 covers your content from the second year. And they both include relevant practical skills as well. Paper 3, however, is 2 hours as well, but only worth 78 marks, and it's worth 30%, so slightly less than the other 2. And this covers all topics from both 2 years of the course, including practical skills. In terms of why you should study A-Level Biology at Wootton Park Sixth Form. So our department is very experienced. We've got experienced teachers who are used to teaching the A-Level courses. We've got 2 teachers with either straight biology or biology-based degrees on our staff. And our teaching is outstanding. We've been rated outstanding by Ofsted back in 2019, and we've continually been monitored and are continuing to maintain that level in our teaching now. In terms of the experiences that we'll be able to offer you, we'll run trips wherever possible. We really want to bring the course to life. We're going to plan university visits as well. We're going to offer excellent feedback and one-to-one support to give you the extra support you need in terms of allowing you to progress to a higher level. We're also going to allow you to take part in careers talks as well, with any careers linked to the sciences. We've also got an excellent library and sixth form study facilities that you can make use of as well. So if you have any further questions, please do get in touch. You can contact either of our heads of sixth form by email. So there's Miss Rautenberg and Mr. Kilcoyne just below. And then finally, if you would also like to speak to someone in person, you can contact the school office. And if there's any science related queries, they will divert them to me.